The Life in 5 podcast is proudly presented by Southland Shopping Centre in South Penrith. It's my local and a true community favourite. It's got everything you need in one easy stop. It's got good food, all of the everyday essentials, and plenty of local businesses doing it right. Whether you're sorting dinner, knocking over the weekly shop, or just chasing a good coffee, Southlands makes it easy. Do yourself a favour and swing by Southland Shopping Centre. It's local, convenient, in the heart of South Penrith, and tell them MG sent you.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed parts of my career, but there's parts.
Do you think Newcastle's probably where you're at your peak as a player?
Possibly, yeah, probably not. I don't know if I got to my peak. But
Welcome back to Life in 5, the podcast where we dive into 5 key moments via photos that have shaped some of the biggest names in sport, the media, and beyond. I'm MG, and today's guest is one of the sharpest minds in rugby league. A former player turned coach, he's earned respect for his leadership, his calmness under pressure, and his long-term vision for the game. It brings me great pleasure to introduce the one, the only, the Bulldogs mentor, Cam Ciraldo. Ciro, g'day, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Mate, I always ask my guests, how hard was coming up with 5 photos that have basically defined your life up until this point?
Yeah, well, someone like me to narrow it down to 5, it's always I had this 5 and then it was that 5 and then it was that 5. But the whole experience of going through it was good. Get to take my young bloke to mum and dad's house and go through the photos and try and settle on 5 photos or moments that shaped me. And that was a good experience just going through that.
We often talk as ex-players about that one extra off-season that breaks the camel's back. So I know myself at 32, I couldn't do another off-season, was the reason I stopped playing. How does a coach keep their players after you've just finished an off-season? How do you keep them entertained and how do you keep them up when it seems like such a long time at the off-season?
Yeah, I suppose going into part of the motivation of players, like I don't think that much about motivating, but I'll try and find motivated players or internally motivated players. And I think that's the group we've got right now is we've got guys that are so motivated to get the best out of themselves for their careers, but also to try and win. So the job at the moment is not too hard in terms of trying to keep it fun or exciting and things like that. These guys just want to turn up every day and get better. And that's a great environment to be part of. Just
around the corner, we've got Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. How do you prepare for something like that as a head coach?
Oh, I think you just got to embrace it. It's not going to be perfect. Like as a coach, you want to micromanage everything and make sure everything's perfect and things like that. But the reality is we're going to train on fields that aren't perfect and there's going to be distractions that aren't perfect, but we're just going to embrace it. They all tell me it's a grand final-like atmosphere over there and it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So we're going to go out there, we're going to enjoy the experience of it all and make sure we've got a lot of fans going over there too.
Yeah.
So we need to honour that by getting our best possible performance in, and I'm sure the boys will be up for that.
How many of the staff are going away with you?
Our whole club's going.
Really?
Yeah.
Even Gus?
Yeah, Gus.
Gussie?
Gus went last year on a bit of a PD for a reconnaissance mission, but we're taking 24 players. We've got 20 full-time NRL staff, and then...
Well, they're the ones you've got to worry about, the staff. Don't worry about the players.
Yeah, they're excited, but I think everyone knows that they're really excited about being in Las Vegas and playing at that stadium, but everyone understands we've got a job to do.
Well, you've been a breath of fresh air. I've known you for a long time now, over 10 years as a coach. I knew you as a player as well, but the way you've brought your cool, calm and collected attitude towards rugby league, it's refreshing. And I must say that I thank you for doing this today because I don't see you doing too many interviews and podcasts and it means a lot to me for you to come on this today. So I really appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Your first photo here, as we look at Cam Ciraldo's photo reel. Ciro, talk us through it, mate. What is this photo? Who's in it? And why does it mean so much to you?
Yeah, I think I've got a bit of a structured approach to doing it, so it was sort of started at the start. And this is, my grandparents had such a massive influence in my life. My mum's obviously there in the middle as well, but I couldn't find many photos with all my grandparents in one photo, and this was the one that stood out. This is actually in my grandmother's backyard in Belmore, about 2 minutes from where I go to work every day now, and that was where I spent a lot of time growing up. So to have all of those, the 4 grandparents in one photo and how much they shaped my life is special to me. My 2 grandparents on the dad's side, they're from Italy. One's from Nonna there from Calabria in southern Italy, and Nunu from Sicily.
Wow.
They're right down south. So they've shaped a lot of, real family first mentality. I grew up with them a lot in their house while mum and dad went to work. I think my passion for food comes from them. She's the best cook I've ever met. And I miss her cooking every day.
No.
Every Italian restaurant I go to, I chase, the flavours that she gave up to us every day, and still haven't found it. So, and my nunno there, I got my work ethic from him. He's one of the hardest workers I ever saw. Like, he was in the garden every day, working. He'd come in. He was so structured and routine. He came in, ate pasta for lunch every day, went back in the garden, came back, ate pasta for lunch every night with his homemade red wine and bread. He just ate the same thing every day and just went out in the work in the garden every day. So
Different life, wasn't it?
yeah, and he couldn't really speak English that well. He could a little bit, but he was the head of the family, and he provided, like, he gave my dad and my aunties like a really good start in life, helped them get their first houses, and he came out from Italy with nothing and was able to just provide for his family and give them a really good life just through pure hard work. So
that's awesome. And the other two are from Australia. Your other Nan and Bob.
Yeah, they were divorced by the time I can remember, so
Okay.
they were separated. So my nan there, she lived in Belmore, real just hard old lady, worked every day, like real good work ethic as well, and spent a lot of time with her growing up. She was, someone I was really close to. Like, she's the one during my teenage years where I'd ring up and tell her I met a girl or this and that. And, I don't know, she could just get secrets out of me. And any time I was angry at home, I'd say, I'm coming to live with you, and she'd want me to come and move in. And
good.
she was cool. And then my grandfather there, he's just a man's man. You can see him with a beer there.
Oh, he looks
there is not a photo.
It's
I
a
could
tat
find.
on his a little tat there. I think looks like my dad a bit.
He's there wasn't a photo I could find where he's not holding a beer. He's a real man's man. He went to the Belfield Hotel every afternoon, they tell me, and was just loved playing golf and having beers with his mates. And he left a massive impact on my life as well.
Well, I just become I'm calling myself Papa, because when I had my first grandchild 15 months ago, me and my wife discussed what we want to be called, and I said, I don't want to be called Pop or Granddad. I just want to be called Papa. Yeah. And my daughter and her friend were upstairs, and they just pissed themselves laughing. They go, Papa? Guess what they all call me now? Papa.
That's good.
And I just had my second grandchild, little girl called Ren. And the fact that you are saying that about your grandparents, it brings a real good chill to me, because I hope that when I'm their age and the world turns in funny ways, that my grandson and daughter are saying what you're saying about your grandparents, because we don't get too many people talking about their grandparents as much as their parents in helping them on the whole voyage, do we? Yeah, as much as like most people go, oh, my mum and dad. Yeah. We don't hear a lot of people talking about their grandparents, which, man, they're the main reason we're here.
And your mum and dad play such a huge, important part of your life, but my mum and dad both had jobs, so they had to go to work every day, and until I went to school, they had to find somewhere for me to go, and it was great to have that, be in the same town or city as your family where they could help out, and I got to spend all that time with both sets of grandparents.
Okay, photo number 2. I don't know what this is. It's a football involved. Where's this in Sydney, and who's in the photo, and why is it important to you?
Yeah, so you saw my mum in the last photo, and she, as I said, she worked. She was a school teacher, and she was really structured and organised, and really, was the disciplined one in the house. And I think she passed on all those traits to me. And then Dad, this is in Menai, down in the Southland Shire, and that's our backyard there. And
what are you backing onto there? What's that?
Well, that's the bush there. So,
National
Menai,
Park or something.
Yeah, the bush down at Menai there, and it sort of goes towards Heathcote and things like that. Heathcote Road. And I found it was the best place to grow up. Like, we've got a big backyard there. It goes on the bush, so always bushwalking, going down to the creek. It's funny, like when I have dreams now, I dream of being back in Menai and it's bushwalking and down at the creek and things like that. It just takes you back.
Wow.
It's like that was a really special place to grow up. I had a real good childhood, and a lot of memories about being in the backyard and in the bush, but particularly playing footy with my dad. Love of footy definitely came from him. They say Andre Agassi's dad had tennis balls hanging over his cot. I don't know if Dad did that, but
he close to it.
He's definitely love of Balmain Tigers when I was young, and then he's just love of footy. Certainly, was given to me as well.
So how old are you in this photo? What age are you?
I'm probably 3 there.
Wow.
Yeah, but two things in this photo, like obviously Dad spending the time with me playing footy and how much influence that had on my life, but also just my upbringing around Menai. And what this is very early on.
It actually looks like a scene from Skippy in the back.
Yeah.
Like where Skippy was filmed or something.
It's the best. I could move back there tomorrow. But most summers, because there's so much bush there, most summers there'd be a bushfire threat and you'd get evacuated and you have to pack up the house and pack up the photos and whatever else was valuable to you and be shipped off to grandparents' house or whatever. But in 1997, bushfire actually tore through there. And yeah, that was a pretty massive moment in my upbringing around, understanding about the growing up. But I was at school at the time. I was in year 7 at Menai High, which is about 2 k's up the road. And I remember being in sport out on the backfield and seeing, the smoke hanging over where sort of my house was. And I just grabbed my bag and run home. And I got home and basically the fire was in that bush there.
Jesus.
Just flames everywhere there. And the fire brigade was there doing their best to put it out. I was there first, so no other family was there. And then mum raced home and she sort of got me out of there. But most part of our house got burnt. The back part of our house got burnt and sort of a little bit of the side. So we were really lucky. But 2 doors down, their house burnt down. The street next to us, I think 14 homes burnt down in that street there. And it was a pretty heavy time. And but you really see how important community is during that time. And and everyone looking after each other and then having seeing everyone rebuild through that time and seeing the bush regenerate and things like that, and it was a big learning experience for me.
So what about, you got siblings?
Yeah, I got one sister. She's 4 years younger.
Okay. So this photo resonates with me as well because I grew up in Wayland, in Mount Druitt.
Yep.
Pretty poor suburb. I didn't know I was poor at the time because there was so much love around. But Dad would work 2 jobs. He'd get home at 6 o'clock every night, stuffed.
Yeah.
He'd grab a beer and a smoke. He'd go out and hose the grass for a second, and I kept pulling at his shorts saying, "Dad, footy, come on." No matter how tired he was, no matter how fucking cranky he was, he'd go, "Yeah, come on, Marky. We'd play footy for an hour."
Yeah.
And that's my memory. And that's why I never said no to my kids as I was growing up when they wanted to play footy out the back. I said, because my dad did it for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, you're younger than me, but you showing this now, your kids will do the same because that's what you knew.
Yeah, hopefully they.
As long as you get their fucking iPad away from them for 10 minutes.
That's the biggest battle at the moment.
Isn't it?
Screens,
isn't it?
That's what scares the crap out of me. But
sidebar here, because we're talking about your photos, but they're rewiring their brains, our kids, because of the fact that their dopamine, they're getting a dose of dopamine way too much than they should be.
Yeah.
Our dopamine when I was a kid used to happen once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Now they're doing it with likes, and their brains are not ready for it.
Yeah.
I fear for that. As I said, I'm a granddad, a papa of 2 little ones. They're like, what's in store for them?
Yeah, it's terrifying. I reckon that's our biggest battle in coaching over the next little period and parenting as well, is to how do we manage that and help our kids and not let them rewire their brains. But it's going to be a massive challenge.
Well, I'm sure you'll be good at it because you've kicking ass as a coach so far. And this photo here, photo number 3, this is, I take it, your crew.
Yep.
Tell us all about them, brother, and what they mean. This is your why. This is Cam Ciraldo's why.
Yep. So this has skipped a bit of time. Last photo I was 3. Now I'm about 33 or 34 or something. But it's got sort of everything that sums up my life and what I love about it. You see there my love of cooking and food from Nonna, and that's when I was young, going out was what I like to do in my time. But when I had a family, just cooking for them and having a meal around home for them that's as good as it gets for me. So that's part of it. But on this occasion, the kids, I think this might have been during when COVID started, and there wasn't much time to yourself at all. So I said to the missus, it's a date night in-house tonight. Kids, you're going to eat outside. And I cooked them a feed outside, and this is them, all of them stand at the window.
Oh, my goodness.
Back in. But, fair bit of time's passed there. We've got 5 kids.
So how old are the kids? How old are your kids now?
So Kai's my stepson. He's 22 now.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Taya's 17, Riley's 16, Piper's 13, and William's 9. Yeah, but I thought, what better way to sum
Oh,
up
my goodness.
what our family is like, the chaotic side of our family, than that photo there.
What do you like as a dad? I mean, are you the disciplinarian, or is your missus?
What am I like as a dad? Probably flawed, but I try hard.
We're all flawed. We're all flawed. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, there's no manual to it.
Yeah.
Everyone used to tell me before I had kids, wait till you have kids.
Yeah.
They're the best thing. And they're right. I knuckled down as soon as I had kids. I changed my ways. And then everyone used to tell me about being a grandfather. And I was saying, it couldn't be better than being but it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
I suppose all you want to do is give your children, at least as good a childhood
opportunity.
as what you had, or even better. And you constantly think about that, and you want what's best for them. But and again, there's no training for it, so you're constantly just trying to figure it out for yourself. But yeah.
So what's your wife's name?
Kim.
Kim?
Yeah, we met when I was 20.
Okay, so tell us about that story. Tell us about the romance. Where'd you meet?
Well, we met at Northies
Whoa.
at Cronulla, where most people meet. So nothing real fancy there. But
Obviously playing for the Sharkies at the time.
yeah, it was before I played. I was thinking I was in New South Wales Cup or something like that, or Flegg, or and met Kim. Had known some parts of her family before that, but got to meet her, and we got along pretty well. But she had Kai then when Kai was already 2 years old, and so that was a bit tricky when we first met, and you had to work out pretty quickly whether we were going to take things seriously, or she obviously wasn't going to bring people into her life if it wasn't going to be, introduce them to her son if it wasn't going to be serious or anything like that. So it made us.
And how was that for a 20-year-old to be confronted with that?
Yeah, it was pretty full on. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't think too much of it at the time. At the time,
You loved her so much.
Yeah, you've got feelings for someone, and you think, well, this is where I want to be, and you don't think too much of it. But obviously, looking back, it's a pretty big decision at that age to say, yeah, she's the one, and we're going to do this. And then we got married when I was 22, a couple of years later.
So good.
Yeah, so
the kids all play some type of sport. They look like they're all fit kids.
yeah, the two boys play footy.
Yep.
They're down in the Southland Shire comp now, having a crack. And my middle daughter there, she's just started playing tackle footy as well. So
Wow.
I never thought
One of mine played
would,
footy.
yeah.
Like, I went, no, Kennedy, you can't play footy. It's too beautiful.
Yeah.
But they love it.
And she hits hard.
You can't stop them.
Yeah.
And I love the girls' game, how it's improved. I went to the 2018. I went to the Origin game at North Sydney Oval.
Yeah.
And there's about 10,000 people there. And I went, you know what? This is going to be big. And look at it now. Look, everyone's got a team. Everyone, like, sooner or later, we're going to have as many teams as there are NRL. Do you believe that as well?
Yeah. I think it's very much on that track. It's great opportunities for them. And she plays league tag on Saturdays and tackle on Sundays. So it's so
League
many
tag's a good game.
Yeah.
So you're Menai grew up at Menai, but you're a Sharky junior.
Yeah.
Then you went to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Then to Penrith.
Yeah.
So how did you first break into the Sharkies system?
Yeah, so played for Menai Roosters and then St Joseph's when I was from under 10s, and that's in the Southland Shire and the Sharks junior competition. So came through SG Ball, Jersey Flegg, and really lucky to debut there as well. But as I said, my idea of having a good time when I was young was going out and partying, and that's
was that your downfall a little bit? Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, that's now, but see, that in a roundabout sort of way, that now helps you as a coach because you've done it and you know what to look out for.
And that was one of my main motivations to get into coaching, because I made so many mistakes along the way and learnt so much by the end that I wish I knew this when I started. And, that's when I talked to Gus and said, I'd love to help junior players, either learn from the mistakes I made when I was younger or teach them what I knew at the end of my career before it's too late. So, I've really enjoyed parts of my career, but there's parts.
Do you think Newcastle was probably where at your peak as a player?
Possibly, probably not. I don't know if I got to my peak, but
come on. How many first grade games did you play?
94.
Well, far out, man.
I think
when the average is about 36 per a career.
Yeah.
So you've doubled that.
I think there was so many mistakes I made, whether it was enjoying myself too much when I was younger or just overthinking it.
Yeah.
In those times where I got my crack and just not trusting, myself and my preparation and thinking about the wrong things. But I feel like my playing career was the apprenticeship for what I'm doing now. And and being able to take those lessons and understand what those boys are going through and hopefully trying to help them get out of their own way at times.
So this when I started this podcast, I've had over 35 guests. Every person that I interview, I find out something new about them. Like I didn't know that you had when we got married, you had a 2-year-old son to look after as well.
Yeah.
That says a lot. I mean, about you.
Yeah.
Because, you might have been a party animal before you met your beautiful Kim, but straight away I reckon you knuckled down.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. Okay, now we get to the Penny Panthers. Okay, so let's go through the timeline again. You went from Newcastle to Penrith when?
To play 2012 and 2013.
Yep.
So I met Gus at Gosford Macca's and
What? As to go there? Okay.
Yeah. So we spoke on the phone.
Who was head coaching? Matty Elliott?
Or Ivan was about to be. So I talked to Ivan in Auckland when we played them. And then Gus said, meet me at Gosford Macca's at 1 o'clock. So
What, in the morning?
No.
Oh, it's the one that was in the morning for Gus.
So breakfast menu was finished, I think. So he said, meet me there at 1 o'clock. So I'd got on the freeway straight from training to get down there to meet him. Got there at 10 to 1, make sure I was early. I look over and Gus is eating a Big Mac at Gosford Macca's there. So I walked over. We did the deal within 5 minutes. I was back on the road by 5 to 1.
What?
Deal done to come to Penrith for 2 years. And I'd never thought it at the time, but I was just grateful to keep playing, an opportunity to go down to Penrith and be part of what they were trying to build there. But then you think all these years later, like Gus and I are still working together. The journey
it's
that
awesome.
we were able to go on at Penrith. It was, it's incredible that 1 5-minute meeting, shaped all that. So I was incredibly lucky.
Okay, competition time. We've got an exciting giveaway to announce, courtesy of our good friends at EliteBet. You and a friend could be joining us in the EliteBet corporate suite to watch the defending premiers, the Brisbane Broncos, taking on the Sydney Roosters for what will be one of the games of the season. It's round 9, Saturday night on the 2nd of May. For a chance to win, follow Life in 5 and EliteBet on social media throughout the season, and we'll be giving away a pair of tickets for every episode that drops. Stay tuned. Well, tell us about this photo, because you had another photo that you sent through to us, but you wanted to change it up because you wanted this photo to represent. Tell those that listening who can't see this what it's about, and again, why is it so special to you, Ciro?
Yeah, all right. So this is the 2021 grand final, obviously in the sheds celebrating after, but it's actually nothing about the grand final that day. It's just about the people that were around and the journey to get to that point. So, as I said, I played at Penrith 2012 and 13, and then I was lucky enough to get a role in coaching and coach the NYC team, which your son was a part of.
Under 15, you won the comp, didn't you?
Yeah, 2015 we won the comp, and 2016 as well. I went down to his team 2013 when I was still playing. And that was SG Ball.
That's right.
And a lot of those boys in that photo there were in that team. And that was my first taste of coaching. Like, I was injured in 2013, so I just wanted to go and see what they were doing in the pathways.
Didn't you go to Windsor or something for a while as well? Was it Windsor?
Yeah.
Were they a feeder club for Penrith around that same time?
Yeah. It was around then.
Yeah.
And I never really wanted to get into coaching, but I wanted to see what the pathways was about and what they were doing. And just that group that Logan was a part of, and Stephen Crichton's brother was in there, and there was Robert Jennings and Tyrone May and all these guys.
Moses.
Sione Katoa, Moses, and they were just great people, like great kids, and they wanted to learn, and they hooked me into coaching. Like I went down there to think, what are they doing down there? And their energy and their will to or want to learn about footy just sucked me into wanting to get involved in coaching.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then, Gus and Ivan gave me a job coaching the under-20s and then going on to be an assistant coach for a while after that. And then that's sort of...
The culmination.
The culmination of the grand final and the journey along the way, but also probably the I don't know, most.
And that's all your family on the right hand. The family's on the right hand side there.
So we were in the bubble up in Queensland.
Oh, that's right. Who's that against? South,
yeah. So we're in the bubble, living at Twin Waters with 4 other teams, and it was 3 months of living in the bubble. But I look back at that time, and it was great to be part of that grand final celebration at the end of it. But that was the most fun or amazing time of our lives, where we were all living together, players, staff, families. Like, my family had the best time during that time. It was great to see them. They'd go to homeschool during the day. They'd be riding bikes and scooters in the afternoon with all the other kids. And it was just the most special time in our lives, I think, of just enjoying being in each other's company, but then being on this journey to win or be part of a grand final win as well. So I couldn't decide on these two photos, and to have my family there who'd been through my playing career and the ups and downs that go with that, and all the injuries and bad moods that I came home with during that time, and then for them to support me through my coaching career and be part of touching the trophy and seeing being part of a grand final win, like that's the most amazing experience for a child, I reckon. But then also the whole group of Penrith there, like some of my best mates are on that staff there, like Kevy Kingston, who I played with at the Sharks, and
what a man,
Peter Wallace, who became one of my best friends at Penrith, and we were together every day side by side for 6 or 7 years. But then these guys who I'd watched a lot of these guys. So there's a lot of these guys that played in the 2015 team. So Dylan Edwards, Fisher Harris, Jerome Luai, Brent Naden, Robert Jennings, Moses Leota, Tyrone May, and Nathan Cleary. All those guys came through.
They all played in the 15 side.
They were all in it, yeah. I don't think Nathan didn't play the grand final, but the others all.
Wow,
to see those guys go from 17-year-olds to that, but then also send the men they've turned into now is just like, it's something to just. I feel extremely privileged to see their journey over the last 10 or 12 years. But then there's two guys that snuck into this photo also that weren't in that 2015 team. Viliami Kikau and Matt Burton have snuck into the photo.
Why were they in the team? Oh, were they the Dogs then?
No. They've snuck in. This is meant to be a sort of NYC reunion.
Oh, okay, yes.
And then these two blokes who weren't in that team snuck into the photo, but they've become such an important part of my life as well.
Wow.
The journey I've been able to see those guys go on. I'm glad they're in that photo. And then we've also got Mitch Kenny in the back there, who's one of the greats. And,
good man.
And Charlie Staines too, who's looking very nonchalant there.
So when you coached the 2015 Holden Cup team, when did you realise that you wanted to go further? When did it kind of kick in that, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? And how did that transition go from the 20s to the assistant coach? Who done that? Who made you assistant?
Gus did. Gus, after 2016 season, said he wanted me to go up and be an assistant coach, I didn't. I was happy being assistant coach. I didn't really look too far beyond that. That job for me with those boys was the best job you could possibly have, I know it's always like that. It's like a natural progression to want to become a head coach, but I never was chasing it that much. I obviously knew it could be a challenge down the track, but it wasn't at the forefront of my mind. I was enjoying my job, doing what I was doing, working with those guys. But as luck would have it, Gus had moved to Canterbury, and I ended up speaking to him some way down the track. And I initially, wasn't that keen to go. I was loving what I was doing at Penrith, but the way Gus outlined the vision of the Bulldogs and where the club wanted to go, and understanding what the club was built on, I couldn't say no to it.
Well, it's been an amazing time. Like to be part of, I was lucky enough to be part of Penrith's first ever grand final win, and the way the town just went off after 25, 26 years of no success, and all of a sudden we had it. And then 2003, I was lucky to be part of that, not as a player but as a ex-player to go and celebrate with them. And then all of a sudden, just the sprinkle dust hit them, and a lot of people think that it was easy because they did it pretty easily back to back to back to back. But only you and the coaching staff know what went on behind closed doors on a daily basis to get that glory of 4 in a row. The sacrifices that take place, and you know exactly how hard these guys have trained.
I think it's one of life's great lessons is the adversity you go through at different times of your life, how that can lead to bigger and better things. And I think everyone looks at those guys now and they've won 4 straight premierships and that. But if you look deeper, the 2019 season was really, really hard for for the whole club in general. We went through tough times there. I think we were 2 wins from our first 10 games. There's some guys there that were copping a heap of flack and had to live through that. And then to turn that around and then make a grand final in 2020, but ultimately be left heartbroken by that performance against Melbourne. That's another thing to have to bounce back from. But those guys, those players, they're just such a special group. And to go through those adversities and then show up the next year and get the job done up in Queensland there was a credit to how hard they work and how committed they were to each other.
Well, now your job, and we look at your last photo, now your job is to try and replicate that in some way, shape or form. I know it's easier said than done, but some special things happening at Belmore. You can feel it. Some of the players, this bloke in this photo in particular, this Stephen Crichton, who I saw his debut. I think he went on the field after 7 seconds. He scored a try. The improvement in this kid as a leader now, as a leader of men, is something that I have been so surprised at. Not surprised because I thought he was a lot quieter than he is.
Yeah.
But those that speak to him, those that speak about him say that he's just a natural born leader.
Yeah.
So the Bulldogs now, so this is your, fourth year at the Doggies. Tell us how things have changed year to year and why are the Doggies going to win the comp this year?
First, how it's changed year to year. I think it was obviously a really tough first year. It didn't go the way we wanted it to, but I think having to go through that sort of uncovered
again the adversity you went through.
Yeah, like we hit some tough times there, and then the lowest point was getting beat 66-0. But I think it's a blessing in disguise to have that and then go righto. What we're doing here is not working. We need to change, and the change was around.
How many that from that squad are still at Belmore?
Not many. I don't know the exact number.
I think the other day, but a few months before Christmas, I was looking at maybe 3.
Yeah. I think from either 2022 or something like that. But we realised we needed to change the whole culture of the program and the club, and we brought in 10 new players for 2024, and those guys it was all about character and how hard they
utilities.
worked. Yeah, well, they
were weren't they? But was that a conscious decision?
No. It actually had so little to do with talent or position and so much to do with character.
Wow.
So we had 10 new players come in, and they were all do they want to work hard? Do they want to connect with their teammates? And then will they trust and commit to our processes and what we want to do? And the way those 10 guys came in, but then those other guys that either came through our pathways or were there in 2023 and sort of rode the hard times, the way they all came together and worked for a common cause was awesome. And those guys, they did turn around, hopefully, the fortunes of our club over the next few years.
This photo here, is that you at the top of there with the Bulldogs? What's this photo about?
Yeah, this photo, so going through Mum and Dad's photo album, I didn't realise this photo was there. But
wow.
I was obviously a Balmain fan growing up, influenced by Dad. But Craig Polamauna came to our school in 1994. I went to school in Moorebank, so in the Bulldogs area, and we played in all the Bulldogs knockout competitions, and that shirt is from those Bulldog knockout competitions. But Craig Polamauna came to our school in 1994. He was our adopt-a-school guy or whatever, and I just remember meeting him, getting posters, getting a signature, and so the Bulldogs became my second team back then. And that year they lost the grand final to Canberra, but they ended up winning the grand final the year after against Manly. So they were my number 2 team back then, and obviously they were going pretty well then. I got the shirt on up there, and I just thought it was cool to find that photo the other day, and then a photo that means a lot to me, obviously being head coach now and having my son in the photo in the dressing room in full Bulldogs kit, and Stephen, who I've been lucky enough to work with over the last 7 or 8 years, who, as I said, his brother was one of the real
Christian,
the guys that hooked me into wanting to be a coach, and just such a wonderful family, and just to watch Stephen's progression over, to see him come in, and I think he debuted 19, sorry.
Hasn't looked back.
Yeah, he's just gotten better and better every year, but he just works so hard. Like during that COVID time when, we couldn't go anywhere and it was just come to training and go home and all that, he just basically lived at the facility there, kicking balls, goal kicking, short kicking, watching video, doing recovery, and I got lucky enough to spend a lot of time with him during that time and get to know him a bit better and build that trust with him. And I'm just so lucky to have him at our club now and as our captain. And there's just so much trust between us that I had to put him in a photo there as well.
We hear the legendary tales about the Bulldogs' fanaticism with their fans. You've witnessed firsthand. Like, are they the most rampant in the game and the most passionate?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to England last year on a bit of a PD trip, and But at the end of it, we just went and spent the day at Chelsea, a Chelsea Football Club game, and we went in the pub where Chelsea was formed and all the fanatical supporters there, and you just get to sit there as a fan and just soak it all up and that. And this is amazing. Like, I just loved it, and it was just such a good atmosphere to be part of. And then I'm thinking back to our club and what we're able to do in our community, and I feel like our club is the closest thing to the English Premier League. Like, the way our supporters, the energy they bring to games, to post games, to everything that they do, to our training, it's just incredible. It's it's an incredible club. You know, we talk about uniting, inspiring our community quite a lot. I don't think there's many other clubs in the world that can bring so many races, religions together and support a common cause. And I think that's why our club plays such an important role in not only rugby league but in Australian sport.
And now for our next segment, but wait, there's more. Brought to you by our great mates at Elite Bet. We're going to dive into 5 questions that make all of our audience get to know you a little bit better. Describe a typical day in the life of Cam Ciraldo as head coach of the Bulldogs. What's a typical day for you, buddy?
Yeah, well, I'll try and plan.
What time do you get up?
Yeah, what time? Used to be 5. This year I've moved it to 4:30 because, I'm trying to get healthier. I'm trying to train more. So getting up at 4:30 these days and trying to get in the gym before the day starts.
What time do you go to bed?
No, 9:30 at the latest. Yeah.
That's good.
You know, my son goes to bed later than me. He's 9. So, but I need to be in bed by 9:30. And
So you get up and do some training, then what time do you head in the office?
I do training at the office, and then work sort of starts at 6. Trying to get prepared for the day, and then our coaches' meetings at 7 to sort of set the day up and get things started, and then the boys are in from 8 o'clock. So the rest of the day from then on is basically whatever pops up. As a head coach, that's the difference between being head coach and assistant coach. As assistant coach, you know everything that's going on and what you need to do at every moment of the day, and then head coach, things can pop up at any moment, and you got to be willing to adjust and pivot and things like that. But it's enjoyable. It's keeps you busy.
Well, every day is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every day is different.
Yeah.
Who's been your biggest influence in rugby league, do you think?
Oh, clearly Dad. His love for footy, and he's always talking footy. Like, if I go have a coffee with him, he's just peppering me with footy questions and that. He just loves the game. And then within the game, I can't go past Gus. You know, his influence on me over the last
it's been
13 years. Yeah. So we're very different. He's all out attack and I'm all out defence, and we butt heads a lot.
Well, they called you the Minister of Defence at Penrith. That was your nickname because your defensive techniques were so good.
Yeah.
How does someone like Gus lend you an ear when the whole Lockie Galvin thing happened last year? Like, it was main news for a year. How does a coach, how do you deal with something like that in-house, and how does someone like Gus help you deal with that?
I think there's so many things that happen inside a football club that was not as big a deal inside our football club as it was on the outside.
Which is always the case, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, I understand it got a lot of noise, and at the time I was thinking, why is this happening? But, you know, after reflecting on the year and things like that, it's like, this is exactly where our club wants to be. We want to be, the biggest club in the league.
Fighting for spots.
Yeah, we want people talking about our club, and we want to be in pressure situations. And when you're in pressure situations, that's when people are talking about your club. So, I've sort of reflected on that, and it is what it is. We better get used to that. But Gus, during that time, like, it wasn't that much of a talking point internally. Gus is there for me to bounce things off every afternoon, whether it's about selection, training, whatever. I can ring him on the way home if I need to talk to someone and either vent to him or ask him a question. And I didn't really need to during that time because it was really clear what we needed to do.
Is there a moment from your playing days that probably shapes you as a coach now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of moments through your playing career that shape either what you want to do or what you don't want to do. I was lucky enough to have some really good coaches. I had Ricky Stewart, who's one of the ultimate motivators, and
what about the passion in him?
Passionate, and learned a lot about the mentality of being a pro rugby league player through him, and still lucky enough to talk to him and bump into him these days. And then I had Brian Smith, who was
Smitty. He's probably over 300 games.
Oh, he's
500, isn't it? I think he was second. Yeah. Or who just overtook him? Someone just overtook Smith was Bennett's number 1. And then someone's number maybe sure. Yeah, but I think Smith's right up there.
But he's one of the smartest minds in the game. Like, he's up there with Gus in terms of how smart he is. And then at the back end of my career, had Ivan, who played a massive part in not only the last bit of my career, but then the first part of my coaching
Yeah.
as well, or a big part of my coaching as well. So I reckon if there's one moment, it's probably my second game playing for Penrith. I came off the bench, Ivan's coach obviously, came off the bench and we're coming out of yardage, and I've took the ball up and just the offload's just come out and it's hit the ground and the Roosters have got it.
Been there, done that.
And now when I've done that in the past, I've been absolutely sprayed or, and things like that. But I came in at half-time thinking, here it comes.
Here it comes.
And Ivan just looked at me and said, did you see how easy that came out? And I said, yeah. And he said, good, like, go with it, but make sure you see someone before you pass it. And I thought,
wow,
cool, because, I don't know.
So you promote?
Yeah, like he was encouraging about it, but gave you actually something to fix it as well. And I think that had a massive impact on.
So you do that now as a coach?
Yeah, I don't think I ever would have yelled at players that much anyway. Like I don't think that works too much, but I definitely remember that moment, how that made me feel, and how that helped me in different times when I'm coaching now. Is
there part of being a head coach that nobody warned you about?
I think you get all the warnings, but I don't think you can totally prepare for it. I think
like the outside noise, or
just the amount of different things that happen. I think so. I don't think my apprenticeship to get myself ready for the Bulldogs could have been any better. Like I had a good crew coming through. I had good mentors to learn from. I had a little stint as an interim coach where I had to do it myself.
You did too, yeah.
Taste of it. I coached Italy in a World Cup and had to deal with some stuff there, and I couldn't have done any more to be prepared for it. But there's nothing that can prepare you for just
the day-to-day,
the obsessive nature of it and how many things pop up. And but that's why you do it. You want to be in those pressure situations, and you want those challenges in your life.
What about, and finally, to wrap this up, you've been fantastic, by the way. You've been illuminating.
Thanks, mate.
You've been.
I don't get that very often.
So everyone's seen a new side of you today.
Yeah.
Is there a player that you've coached that will make a sensational head coach?
Oh, I think plenty.
Give us three. Give us three names.
Oh, there's two from Penrith that
straight away.
Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo, who they could work into it straight after footy. Mitch Kenny as well from there. I'll give you three from there.
Okay.
Mitch Kenny as well. His work ethic and his attention to detail and things like that. Those three could walk into coaching the day they retire. I've got one at the moment, it's Sean O'Sullivan, who's footy.
Yeah,
obsessed.
well, that's a good pickup for you guys.
Yeah. Great guy. Loves footy. Like I thought I loved footy. This guy loves footy as much, if not even more. And he understands the detail. He understands about mentoring young guys. Like he could easily go into it. Stephen Crichton, obviously, he's very young now.
Yeah.
But if he wants to be a coach one day, I think he could more than do that.
Well, you know what? 51% of the players now are Polynesian. Yeah. You're going to see a lot more coaching Polynesian players, I think, like once they leave.
Yeah.
Which is a positive.
Yeah. And there's a couple others there, but I think Viliami Kikau is going to be a coach at some stage.
Billy?
Which
wow.
Now, whether he's a head coach or assistant coach, I think he will coach Fiji one day. I'd love to see him go back and coach the country that he's come from, and he's held in such high regard over there. And
he seems so quiet. What do you see? What's he do that we don't see that would make him a good coach?
Yeah. Now he's very quiet, but he's also very thoughtful. And sometimes it's the coaches that you don't have to talk the most to educate
that's what you don't say
or help people. But the standing that he's held in Fiji,
massive.
And his understanding of the game, like he's not given the credit that he deserves for how intelligent he is when it comes to football. And I think just his trajectory, like the way he's growing as a man, I'm sort of pinching myself that I'm saying this when I think back to what he was like when he was 20, like because
so different.
Yeah, he's so different. So again, one of the greatest things about coaching is being able to watch people on this journey of a 20-year-old to a 30-year-old now, and being a husband and a father, and yes, he's still quiet, but he has a lot of knowledge that he can help the next generation of footballers, whether it's at the Bulldogs or whether it's in Fiji. As well.
Cam Ciraldo, wow, you have been sensational. This is your life in 5.
Thanks, mate.
Nothing in that, by the way. Just want to look at looks. And on behalf of our great mates at Lily Pilly Wine, you've got a nice Shiraz and a nice Sauv Blanc, mate. You are fantastic. Good luck in Vegas.
Thank you.
Good luck for the year, because I can feel something special about to happen at Belmore because of you.
My fingers crossed. We've got a lot of people working hard, and hopefully we can work hard enough to get a good result.
Go on, you brother.